Hey, Caitlin, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. How's the class coming for you so far?
It's going pretty good. It's just kind of hard to memorize all the stuff.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's all good. I understand it's necessary.
Yeah, that's first year Greek is just so memorization based. I mean, there's I can explain everything, but still at the end of the day, it's just hardcore memorization. But then if you ever decide to continue doing more Greek, that's when it becomes fun because you're able to study more and exegete passages and things like that. It makes a whole lot more sense, but not until you memorize a lot,
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll hang in there. Hey, Daniel, how are you?
I'm good.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
How is it?
Trying to stay warm. It's chillier than we thought it was going to be today.
Where are you guys at? I mean, if you don't mind me asking you.
I'm in upstate New York.
Are you serious? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Where in upstate New York?
About an hour outside of Albany in a little town called Oneonta.
Okay. Okay. Anywhere near Lake Placid, that area?
No, that's a few hours north.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Years ago, I mean, it was going back in 1992 or 93. I think 93. There was a big blizzard that came through there. I don't know if you ever remember that. It was
I was living in North Carolina at that point.
Okay. Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not originally from there.
No.
Okay. Got you. Okay. Well, anyways, I mean, there was a huge blizzard that came and went all the way from Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. I mean, it was all, was crazy. And then should I come out of this thing? Okay. So anyways,
Good morning.
Hi, Deidre, welcome. So I decided to go with my friends on spring break. It was not much of a spring break. I went all the way north to Lake Placid area, and I've never seen so much snow in my life. We couldn't even get out, and the only way we could get out was from a second-story window.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah, it was about a week before Christmas last year. We had something blow through and it was about 3.5 feet.
Yeah.
It just fell overnight.
Yeah. And it's funny because down where we are in North Carolina, I guess, it's nothing to them. All the snow we get is it's like a normal day. And once they clean the roads, it looks like the snow down here.
Yeah, after it was, let's see, it fell overnight. It started snowing, I think about 8 o'clock the night before, and it quit about 7 o'clock in the morning. And by 11, all the roads were clear and you could get wherever you wanted to.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of equipment and they know, they need it. Here it's more ice. It's a whole different problem. So
yeah, I have a snow blower that attaches the front of my lawn tractor, and I'll just get on that and go until I can drive.
Yeah, I loved it. It was beautiful. It was so pretty. It's like a Christmas card, but I was ready to come back to Georgia again.
I could understand that.
It was very cold. We're talking about upstate New York, where Daniel is. It's a cold country, so I can see why he is all bundled up. How are you, Deidre?
I'm good. We don't get snow in Perth. We get at the moment we're having an unusual amount of rain. So normally this would be summer.
Okay.
Summer starting, but for some reason the rains come back.
You don't have anything like a monsoon, do you?
No. We just we usually have dry, warm days in the summer and winter.
Right.
And at the moment, it's just been raining nonstop for the last week. So it's usually Sydney and Melbourne have a lot of rain, and usually we have a lot of sunshine. And we're similar to Queensland, except Queensland has humidity and it's unpleasant. So we have the perfect weather usually.
I'm gonna have to come visit you. I mean, that's on my bucket list.
Oh, it's
Australia. So,
I was born in Ottawa, Ontario. So
oh,
I
okay.
was born in the snow.
Wow.
Yeah. So my brother lives in Ontario, and we visited as adults a few times. But the thing that's different is they have a really long, hot summer, but they have a really cold, snow-filled winter. So we have the warm summer, but we don't get the cold winters. Yeah.
Wow.
And we're on the metric system as well.
Yeah.
But I've lived in Australia since 1970.
Okay, this is home for you.
It's a long time, yeah.
Very
They're
cool.
okay.
We'll
Sorry,
go
my
ahead,
my dogs want to be where I am.
I understand. They can learn Greek if they like.
And my husband's trying to persuade them to leave.
Well, let's go ahead and get started. And what we'll do is kind of go over a few things, a couple of the questions that you guys may have from the lessons, and then do a quick review from last week, and then dive into the exercises that were assigned and see if you guys can help me translate them, parse them. And these are very, very, very easy. And then we will move on to the next lessons, which are first declension masculine nouns with ace and as endings, and first declension feminine nouns with a and a endings, and a endings have two different forms. So we'll look at those as well. And of course, the definite article. Greek doesn't have the indefinite article like a or an, but it does have definite article. In English, there's one, the, the, or the. In Greek, 24. But they're not as complicated as it may seem at first. How many of y'all have, are we waiting on this?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. Let's see. 1 second. I have my team here graciously helping me with screen sharing that makes life easier. I don't know how some of the other professors are doing it, because it's hard to do that and still teach and all that. So we'll do some of those things as well. But let's begin with the question. The question that I think, Deidre, you had asked about Psyche and Suke and all of that. Do you mind sharing that again, or do you feel like you got it straight? You want? Yeah.
Sorry. I start talking and forget to unmute.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, what I saw in multiple places was Suke was translated Psyche, and the upsilon was often translated as a Y. And so I was confused because even in David Black's book, there was, I think I said in my email, there was a page where the upsilon was translated into a Y. So
With
I
Gune,
might have to find that email to find the page.
it's page 8.
Page 8. Yeah.
Yeah, not the page numbers in the PDF as you see it. is different, so just be aware of that. But yeah, it's page 8 of your textbooks.
Yeah, and you can see the word for soul, su, su, sorry, suki.
Suke.
And then next to that, it says psychology. And you can see in other places that the upsilon is translated into a Y. And it's the basis for a lot of words like psychiatry and psychology, etc. So that's what I was trying to get at is why is it often used as a Y? And even in alphabets that I was, looking up to print off, because I keep it in front of me on my desk to help me memorize the alphabet, it will say the English equivalent of upsilon is U, and then they have a slash and then a Y. Like it can be either a U or a Y, and it's pronounced I or it. So that's it. I just wondered, is this an alternative? Is upsilon sometimes pronounced or translated Y?
No, it's not.
Okay.
So right. So let me get that straight. So upsilon or U is always pronounced U. In Greek, it's never an issue. It's always going to be U. So if you notice on page 8 under the vocabulary, you come to gune. There's the upsilon, gamma, U, and nu and a, era. Gune is woman. And then in parentheses, Dr. Black says CF gynecology or confer gynecology. So what he is saying there is, this is where we get the word gynecology. But he is talking more about etymology, not pronunciation. So let me make that clear, that the Y there has no connection with the upsilon in gune. No connection at all, other than that's where we're getting, that's where the word gynecology originally comes from, is from the Greek root gune. Same thing with the psuche. Psuche is soul. The upsilon there as well, okay, is only U. It's never Y. And again, Dr. Black puts confer psychology, but the Y in psychology has nothing to do with the U in psuche. So in Greek, it's never pronounced as a Y. However, I haven't looked up in the Oxford English Dictionary, I haven't done any root studies, if in, not Middle English, but I would say Old English, maybe Middle English, I don't know. I need to study if Y was ever translated as U. That could be the case. Okay, that could be because a lot of times alphabets have taken on new meanings, or they have lost old meanings, old pronunciations. So it could have been at one time that it was not gynecology, or I don't know how old the word gynecology is. That's another thing that I need to look up. But it may have been gune in English as well at one time. I know psychology as a term, as a designation, is relatively new, but was there a word suke in English where Y was pronounced as U? Maybe, but I don't think that's happening here. So that's something I would like to look into, or somebody else wants to look into that through an Oxford English Dictionary. I have the abridged one. I don't have the big one. Now you can go online and subscribe to it. But I would love to see if the word, or if the letter or alphabet Y was ever pronounced as an ooh. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But here it's not being pronounced. Here it has no relevance on upsilon being y. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but I'm you have my curiosity up, so I'm going to look up tonight the OED and see if ever in the past the Y alphabet had an oo pronunciation. I bet it did. That's why, you know, it's interesting. Any other questions before we move forward? If not, let's quickly review what we have looked over last week. And I'm going to go straight to, I'm trying to get to present active indicative. Let's see. It's right here. Oh, right here. Okay, so let's look at present active indicative. I'm sure you have hopefully memorized all of that, and the future active indicative. So here you have O, ace, a, omen, ete, usen. Present active indicative. Add an S. Luso, luces, luce, lusomen, lucete, lususen. I will lose, you will lose, he, she, it will lose, we will lose, you will lose, they will lose. I hope you remember, let's see, this right here, the labials, gutturals, dentals, we talked about them. So if the stem ends in a labial plus S, if we're making it a future active indicative, it becomes a psi. It's a guttural, g, g, k, meets an S for the future active indicative, it becomes C. But the dentals, t, d, t, if they meet an S, a sigma, they drop out and the sigma remains, and that's where we get peso for peto. Okay, so we covered that as well. Let's see, this is very important. I'm sure if you did the exercises, you saw a lot of to be verbs. So it's Amy, a, esten, esmen, este, esen. I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, you or y'all are, they are. Okay, so that's the Amy verb. We also covered the nouns of the second declension last time. You remember that? And I do it a little different, but Dr. Black's, he usually goes with nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, vocative. I usually go nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, dative. So I'm going to do it that way. Os, oi, a, oi, on, us, u, on, o, ois. Okay. And then neuter, of course, on, u, on, o, ois. So that is the second declension neuter noun. We covered that as well. Moving down over here. And if anybody has any question, please feel free to ask. Let's see. All right, now we come to the feminine nouns, but I'm going to hold off, and the masculine as well. I'm going to hold off on these. Let's go and look over the exercises that were assigned. So chapter 3 and chapter 4, we're going to walk down each of them and see what you guys came up with. All right, here it is. Hope everybody can see the screen. Okay. So here it is. Does anybody want to read it first, or we just take turns reading it? The answers are down there, but ignore it. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Daniel.
Blepes, graphes, ou pimpes.
Perfect. Translation.
You see, you write, you do not send.
Okay. And blepes is coming from
From blepo,
blepo, which is to see. And ace, how would you parse ace?
it'd be second person singular masculine.
Perfect.
Took a while for my brain to figure out what I was trying to say.
And I hope everybody knows this. My purpose is not to give you a hard time and see you stutter trying to make it happen. It's just when you're forced to think in that way, when we get to higher level grammar, your brain will automatically switch onto parsing and so the more you're stretched, the more you're made to do this, the better you get at it. So great. All right, let's go to the second one. The Caitlin or Deidre, either one.
I can go.
Okay.
Agai or Agi baptizai Louis.
Okay. So I mean, remember the whole pronunciation thing with the Erasmian and the Koine modern. So you can, if you want to stick with the Erasmian, then it's Age, baptize, ou, lue. But what you were saying, many of those were actually good Koine pronunciation. So go ahead.
And the translation would be he, she, it lead, he, she, it baptized, he, she, it does not lose.
Okay, so now let's think about the tense. He, she, it. First one, agi or age is
It would be third person singular.
right. What's the tense?
Oh, it'd be just the like the stem, like the
Is it present or past or future?
wouldn't it be present?
Yeah, it has to be because that's as
Yeah,
far as
yeah.
I've gotten. Oh, well, future too. So how would you say age?
I don't know.
Leads?
Okay.
Yeah. What did you say? Do you remember?
Yeah, I said he, she, it lead. So it'd be leads.
Leads, right. And then baptize would be
Baptizes.
right.
Okay.
And so baptized. And then the last one,
It would be he, she, it does not or doesn't lose.
loose. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Instead of did not would make it past. So
Okay.
does not lose. Okay. Great. That's super. Okay. Deidre, you want to try it?
Akumev,
Akuamen.
Akumen, sorry.
Okay.
Etoy Mazu
Matzamen.
Mev
Mhm.
Men
Mhm.
Etu or Maz o Men
Matsawa at Hatoi Matsawamen. Hatoi. You see the rough breathing? Mhm.
Etoy. Oh, okay, because there's an H in front.
Right. Rough breathing. Mhm.
Etoy Mazo Men
Mhm.
Oi
U. U.
U
Mhm.
Pest
Pestio men.
Pestio Men.
That's it. Okay. Very good. Very good. Translation.
I don't know.
Oh.
Um,
Well, we'll
I
work
don't
on it.
remember doing this one.
Okay, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. There's a lot to do. So this is coming
Ah,
from akuo. Akuo is what? To
cool.
acoustics, to hear,
Ah, listen
right? To hear. Okay.
to
So
hear.
akuo men, if you go back to our chart, so it's O, A's, A,
Oh,
Ete,
I've been
Usin.
doing this all last night, but I don't remember this sentence.
In about 6 weeks, this is going to be like kindergarten.
Yeah.
So, all right. So which one are we talking about if it's akuo men?
Akua men. A feminine. No.
If you look at the chart here on the screen, we got
Oh,
first, second, third. So we have
okay.
O, A's, A, Amen, Ete, Usin.
Oh, the middle. So the middle part is the verb. Oh, okay. So it's sorry. Plural. First person. So
That's right.
we, here.
Perfect. There you go. Okay.
Oh, you did it for me.
No. I mean, I'm just putting the paradigm here so you can see it, and that helps. Okay. And how about the next one? Hatoi Matsamen.
So it's sorry for the first one. This is an active verb.
Present active indicative.
Yeah.
First person plural of akuo,
Cool. Okay.
which is to hear.
All right.
So we hear.
Okay.
And then we have the second one, Hatoi Matsamen. What is the word? What is the root word?
At hetoi mas.
Hatoi Madzo,
Hetoi mazo.
which is what's the meaning?
To join in.
Prepare.
To prepare.
To prepare, right? So
Okay.
the Hatoi Madzo is to prepare. So Hatoi Madzamen, again going back to our paradigm over here. What is, how would you translate that?
It's the same.
Same,
It's
right?
so it's we prepare.
Perfect. All right. Now we have one more here. What is u?
And this one's that means not.
Not, okay. And then we have pisteuomen. And it's coming from pisteuo, which means
Pest.
very important
Pest.
word in the New Testament. What is
Hang on, but pestor, pesty,
pisteuo?
pestile, pestile. We do not believe.
That's it. Very good. To believe, we do not believe. It's been negated. So we hear, we prepare, we do not believe.
Oh.
And they're all present active indicative. Of course, we know that. And first person plural. We hear, we prepare, we do not believe. Any questions there?
No.
Okay. All right. It gets easier. It gets easier.
So was this homework from week 1 that we're doing, or week 2?
This was the homework for last week.
because I worked so hard to prepare for today, but I was doing like watching the videos and doing the paradigms for today. So
Right. Yeah, the
so
exercises.
is this chapter 3 or chapter 4 that we're doing right now?
This is exercises from chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Okay.
Right.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. We assigned.
I thought I was caught up.
Okay. We had assigned exercises from chapter 3 and chapter 4.
Yeah,
chapter-
I have it written here to do. Sorry.
It's okay. It's good. It's all good. All right, Daniel, you wanna try?
Oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You wanna try number 4?
Sure.
Okay.
Graphite, pathite, sodzite.
Okay.
It would be, since I grew up in North Carolina, y'all right, y'all trust in, or y'all do not save.
Yay. That's it. That's right. So graphite is coming from grapho and graphete. Pathete is coming from patho. And sodzete is coming from
Sozo.
sozo. Mhm. So how would you translate them? Oh, did you just do that?
Just the root, or as they're written in the exercise?
As they're written in the exercise.
Oh, y'all right, y'all trust in, y'all do not save.
That's it. Any questions there? Good. Okay. All right. Caitlin?
Blepusin, didasakusin, lulusin.
That's it.
It is, they see, they teach, they do not lose.
That's it. They see, they teach, they do not lose. Okay. All right. Deidre, you want to try number 6?
baptize,
Baptize.
baptize.
Baptize. Mhm.
Didas kommen,
Didas kommen. Yes. Mhm.
didas kommen, okay, or ook, aku, no, hang on, akun, no, oh, sorry, aku, o, usiv, sin,
Okay. Akuosin. Mhm.
akuasin,
Mhm.
to baptize, to believe.
No,
No, sorry, to teach.
Didasco,
Yeah,
to teach.
didasco is to teach,
Right.
and okay, I think it means not.
Right.
Uh,
Ook is no, not. Mhm.
No, not. And Akuo. It's like 2 times. Akuo sin.
That's right.
Akuo sin.
Mhm.
I don't know that one.
Okay, well, let's do it together. So this one is from baptizo, which is to baptize. Sorry, it's hard to write with this on the iPad, but baptizo is,
Oh, I see it. So it's a singular. So he baptizes.
that's it. Okay,
Okay,
very good.
I should know this. And then we teach,
That's right.
and the last one is let's see, you they,
That's it.
it's the one on the bottom right.
Huh?
So it's plural, so, and third person, so they, but I don't know what the stem word is.
Akuo, acoustics.
Oh, okay, so they hear.
Well, with the ook
Oh, they did not hear.
or
They do not hear.
do not hear. That's it.
Oh, sorry.
Feedback. No, don't apologize anymore. This is part of learning and growing. I've been doing this for 25 years, so it's easy, but it's not if you're just starting, or you haven't been exposed to it for a while. It takes a little time, but that's okay. Daniel?
Sozo, Therapue, Pimpison. It threw me off at first because I didn't realize it was a question. But translated, I guess, to be, do I save? Does he heal? And do they send?
Right. Does anybody know why it's a question? It's a
And the apostrophe,
yeah, semicolon. So
semicolon.
yeah. So it's not, so do I save? Does he heal? Do they send? So great job. Okay. How about this one? Caitlin?
Suman este.
Okay, A S
A.
S A. Mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
And then it's you are, we are, y'all are.
Right. So we're going back to the entire paradigm here for Amy, A. I can't, it's hard to write with this thing. Just back up here. Try it again. Amy A. Estin, Esmond Este Asin. So here you have this right here. Now, if the circumflex wasn't there, you see this little circumflex on top wasn't there, then it would have been if, but the circumflex being there makes it you are. Esmond. So Amy, I'm sorry, A, Esmond, Este, y'all are. So you are, we are, y'all are, or you are. Great job. Okay. Deidre, you want to do this one, number 9?
Accuse baptizi
To say,
exi.
exe, exe.
Exe. Okay. They so that's you here.
Now we need to,
Hang on.
yeah,
Third person is he, it, or she. So I'll say she. She hears.
so we have this coming from akuo,
Yeah.
but if you notice the S inserted before the A,
She will hear.
right.
Okay. Sorry.
You will hear.
It's a future tense.
Yeah, yeah, it's correct.
Sorry. I thought it was part of the stem.
Right.
Okay. She will hear, and then baptizi is she will baptize.
Right.
Okay.
That's
And
correct.
then exi, I think is to be, and it's got a guttural. Is that right? Hang on.
Mhm.
So it should be I will open. So it should be I will, hang on.
It's okay.
I'm thinking so she will be.
Right.
Is that okay?
That's correct. Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah. Echo is to have. Okay. So exe is he, she, it will have.
here. Oh, have. Oh,
Echo is to
I
have.
thought it was. Oh, okay. I was looking at I am.
Oh, that's Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah, echo is different. I think it was part of
Yeah, I've got them in my notebook together.
yeah. It's
So
vocabulary.
this one is echo.
Yeah.
And I thought it was
Is
S
part of
S
the vocabulary
and
page.
Amy.
No, oh, right. Yeah, it can be.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So Amy, A, Eston, Esmond, Este, Asen. Now, just to clarify, the future of the Amy verb looks different. So we'll come to that, but that's not going to look like the exo here. Okay, so it's going to look different.
Uh-huh.
So it'll come. All right. Number 10. Daniel?
Gropsamen, Didoxamen, Karuxamen, which would be we will write, we will teach, and we will preach.
Yes, very good. As you can see, the transformation happening there, transformation happening there, transformation happening there. For the amalgamation from labial, so, and then another so. So, and to see that, it's on page, let's see, we covered that. On page 19. On page 19, you have the labials, the gutturals, the dentals. And so you can see them all right there. There you go. Great job. Great job, by the way. Okay. Caitlin, you want to do number 11?
U lucete, u doxases, u somen.
You're getting better with each pronunciation.
Then it translates to y'all will not lose, you will not glorify, we will not trust in.
Great. Very good. Great job. All future. All right. So now we're off to exercise from chapter 4. Deidre, you ready for this one?
Graphe, doulos, no men,
Naman.
naman.
Uh-huh.
Ah,
So
singular. So this one is we, no, sorry. She, she writes,
now,
or she,
that's correct. You're right. But
oh,
look at the noun sitting here. So just
oh,
know,
the sentence.
right, it's a sentence now. We put on
I'm doing the words.
individual words strapped together. Now we're
Do-
looking at sentences. So doulos is what?
Doulos.
Let-
I don't know.
Doulos is servant, okay, or slave.
Okay.
So
Are you
Remember-
how do you know whether to translate servant or slave?
the context will help you.
Okay.
Yeah, the context will help you.
Okay. So she wrote, oh, she writes, servant, served. She writes, and is
Coming from nomos, which
nomos.
is law. So keep in mind in Greek, the word order is not the same as English, noun, verb, subject. So here, the noun is the second word, doulos. So you have to bring it back to the beginning. So it's not he, she, it writes. Now the person has been supplied a servant.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So because the verb is coming first.
Verb is
Yeah.
coming first. But you
Right.
have to look and see if a noun is given in the nominative. So we have to make sure.
Okay. So the servant writes the law.
Right. Right.
Okay.
On us. I write this for your benefit again and again. So hopefully you, the more you see this, the more you see it written out, I can do PowerPoint where I can have all these charts just, just appear on the screen, but to see them written out, I don't know, somehow it helps you remember. So os, oi, a, oi, on, us, u, on, o, ois. And here, namon, I'm sorry, let's start with doulos. Doulos is here. That's, remember our singular, plural, nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, ooh, messed up here, dative. Okay, this is dative. So nominative, subject, this is singular, this is plural, vocative, direct address, singular, plural, accusative, singular, plural, genitive, accusative, by the way, is object, singular, plural, genitive, possession, of something, of some things, and then dative is two or four something, two or four some things. In this sentence, doulos is a, let me get another pen here, is a nominative right here. Oh, that's terrible. That didn't help work out. It's a nominative, and
Yeah.
namon is an accusative. So
So the direct object, so the servant, so there's only one servant,
Right.
and that's the subject, and the first word is the verb.
right,
So the servant writes. Do you say writes or do you say wrote?
writes, because this is, see, graphe
Present tense.
is present active indicative,
Yeah.
so it's present tense.
Okay.
It's writes.
And so the servant writes the law, and in this case, the law is accusative.
Okay, great. Now also remember, in Greek, there is no indefinite article. So
You just add it.
right, so it should be a servant. Ooh, I don't know what that happened
Oh,
there.
how do you know whether it's a or the?
Because we're going to cover the definite articles today, unless y'all already watched the videos, the same video we're going to watch.
I did.
So when you have this ha, hey, ta, definite articles, masculine, feminine, neuter, singular, plural, that's the only time you can say the servant writes the law. If not, it's a servant writes a law. Now, keep in mind, this is very basic entry-level grammar. So we're going to stick to, the basics. So a servant writes a law. But then there are places you'll see later on in second year Greek, or even in the second semester Greek, where even if the definite noun, definite article is not provided, you still have to translate it as a definite. And that's where the context comes in. That's where semantics come in, syntax comes in. So just know that right now we're just staying basic. If the sentence does not have a definite article, we're not going to put a definite article. Okay, just understand that. But down the road, there are different rules, like the Granville-Sharp rule, and for the articles and things like that. That's where, even if the definite article is not provided, you still supply it based on the syntax. But we'll talk about that later. But right now, we're going to stick to the basics. Good job. Okay. Daniel?
All right, Gnoskete Thanaton should be y'all know death.
Right. Correct. Caitlin?
Luusin Adelphoi doulos,
Duluth.
doulos.
Mhm.
And then it's brothers lose servants.
Yeah. Very good. That makes sense. So going back to our second declension nouns. What happened here? So we have singular, plural, nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, dative, os oi, a oi, on us, on. Sorry. Oh, I'm not doing this straight today. Oh, ois. So doulos is accusative plural. Adelphoi is nominative plural. And no definite article, so brothers lose servants. Great. Okay, what happened here? All right, here we go. All right, Deidre. Number 4. That's all right.
Ferusive, sorry, Ferusin,
Uh-huh.
Uoi, and Dora,
Mhm.
Dora,
Ferusin huyoi Dora.
Uyoi.
Huyo, because you have a rough breathing here on top. You can see that. Saha huyo.
Uyo,
Huyoi.
Huyoi.
Mhm.
Dora. Sorry, I don't know this one.
Okay, so let's look at each of them. So we have Pharaoh. We have Pharaoh right here. Pharaoh means
I haven't come across this word yet.
bring. Okay. Huyos, son.
Okay.
Dora, gift. So going back to our, now this time we're looking at our neuter chart. So on, voice. So you have several options here. So
the first is to bring.
right, that's right.
Bring.
Mhm.
Um,
But which bring? We have,
which bring.
it's in the sense, is it singular or plural? Remember, oes a omenete usen. We're still going back to our present active indicative verb. Oh,
Yeah. Just gonna find the page where I have them written.
so we're talking about ferusen, which is this right here.
The S
They.
SIV. So the sigma means the future.
No, there's no future there.
But
It's,
there's a sigma.
right, but it's the root word is pharaoh. So we're talking about present
Pharaoh.
active indicative verb. Ferusen, usen is third person plural.
Okay.
So they bring. They bring.
Okay.
Okay, they bring. But now we have the huyoi going back to our second declension masculine, right? So huyos, os oi, a oi, on us, u on, o ois. Huyoi is nominative plural.
So this because it's plural, there's more than one son.
Right, which
So
goes
the
along with,
sons,
which matches this verb perfectly because
Yeah.
it is third person plural.
bring. Yeah.
Brings.
So the sons
Oh, bring. Yeah, the sons
bring.
bring.
And then gift, which is not, hang on, I've got my gifts is an A. So that's neuter.
Yep. Coming back here.
So
But which
because gifts are not I think it's either it's nominative.
well, that's a great point. Okay, this is a good point to stop for a second.
Because it could be accusative.
It can be accusative or evocative plural, but the context tells you that the sons are go better with. I mean, you can't say the gifts bring sons. I guess you can say that. That'd be very awkward. So sons bring gifts rather than gifts bring sons. So that's the reason why the Dora is accusative plural rather than neuter plural or vocative plural. Vocative won't work because I don't know exactly how you would translate that if it was a vocative. Sons gifts, sons bring. You know, I mean, it's going to be very awkward. So that tells you that Dora is functioning as an accusative plural. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this is a time to ask questions, to learn, and clarify things. Okay.
Number 5.
Yes, sir.
All right. Graphes, logos, apostolos. You write words to apostles.
Okay. So that's an easy one. Graphes coming from grapho. But what about logos? Logos is, how would you parse logos?
That would be
You did it right, by the way. Okay, so you're right.
Yeah, that would be a present active indicative uh, accusative plural or plural accusative.
There is no present active indicative.
You're
anymore.
right. You're right. That's habit, I guess. I don't know.
Well, graphes, of course, yeah, you'll have present active
Yeah.
indicative, but in logus,
Yeah.
it's a noun.
It would be masculine, plural masculine accusative.
Right.
Yeah.
It's correct. So the way to say it would be, how would you parse this? Well, it is a second declension, masculine, accusative, plural of logos. So if you ever had to parse it, and it may be on a quiz or test, hey, parse logos. So you should be able to say os, oi, aoi, on, us. So it's an accusative plural. Second declension masculine, accusative plural of logos. Okay, and apostolois?
That would be masculine dative plural of apostolos.
Okay, and I would always add the second declension.
Second declension.
Yeah,
Okay.
second. That way, when we get into first declension and third declension, you know, you can keep those distinct. Great job. Okay. Oh, what happened? Okay. So you write words to apostles. Okay, Caitlin?
Lepe uas ire kai
Hera.
hira
Uh-huh.
kai oikos
Oikus. Yeah.
oikus. And then I said it translated into sun, seas, temples, and houses.
Yeah. Sun, seas, temple, and houses. So can you parse these two? Your translation is correct. How would you parse them?
For the era, it would be
Hera.
oh, Hera.
So it's coming from here on.
Okay. But it would be part of the neuter plural. Then it would either be nominative, vocative, or accusative.
Right. So that's right. Very good. So you have second declension, neuter. Okay. And which one did you pick? Because it can be the nominative. You translated correctly. Vocative or accusative. Which one would you go with?
Hang on, I don't remember. Would it be nominative?
Accusative.
Oh, accusative. Okay.
Right. And you did it right. So, and I don't know, when on the spot, when you're forced to answer questions like this, it seems like your brain just freezes. But you know, Hera, coming from Heron, it can have either, this is on a, so it can be nominative, plural, vocative plural, or accusative plural. And of course here, because huios already has the nominative, we're going with accusative plural for Hera. And it won't make sense. I mean, how would you, the sun, I mean, the temple sees, I mean, it's not going to work. So Hera is definitely second declension, neuter, accusative, plural of heron. Okay, how about the oikos? By the way, I should erase that, but that's not correct.
It
What
would
about,
be
yeah, please?
second declension masculine accusative plural.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Coming from oikos. Oh, my writing makes sense. It's hard to write with this pen. Okay. Great job. You guys are doing great. I've been teaching for a while and it's great. All right, Deidre.
Ua means not,
Right.
and legi
Legay.
means speak. Legay, speak. And Adelphi.
Adelphos. Mhm.
Yeah, I think means sister.
Adelphos
Adelphos.
would be brother.
Oh, okay. When I looked it up, it said sister. Logon is for word. That's the accusative noun, and
Yes.
I'm just not sure of the last word. It's logon, and then sorry, I'm looking at my book.
That's fine. That's fine.
Rather than the screen. I should be looking at the screen. The last word is and fropo.
Anthropo. Okay.
Anthropo,
Mm-hmm.
which usually means human or man.
Mm-hmm. Man.
So I think, I mean, what I thought it said was don't speak to your sister or the word of man.
Okay. So let's look
I'm
at
sure
that.
it's not right.
No, you're in the same
I tried.
ballpark. You're right there. Just a few things have to be clarified. So let's begin
Yeah.
with the first one. Let's
Do
start.
not speak, I should say. Do not speak.
That's correct. But keep in mind, Adelphos here is the noun. Adelphos is second declension, masculine, nominative, singular. A brother does not speak. Okay. Now log on.
How can you tell it's a brother or sister? Because when I looked it up, it said sister.
Let's see, where did you look it up?
The lexicon.
Let me have my lexicon there.
It said a female who comes from the same womb. So, a female who comes from the same womb. I don't know. So I thought that meant sister. I'll put it in the chat so you can see.
Oh, you just put it in the chat? Okay, I haven't looked at those
Give me a
yet.
sec. I'll just cut and paste it. If that helps. I have to make this bigger. Go to chat.
So I'm looking at,
So it's you. So I don't know, maybe at the ending changes for brother.
right, I'm looking at this here and it's,
Yeah,
it's always,
I'm using the one that's in olive tree.
okay. So Adelphos is brother.
Okay,
Adelphos is always brother here.
okay. So when it ends in a E, then it's a sister. And if it ends in a OS, it's a brother. Is that how it works?
I'll look it up, but I think it's always brother,
Oh,
but I'll look it up. I'll clarify for you
so
if the
I
next
cut
one
and-
says it.
okay. I just cut and pasted out of the lexicon, the Greek English lexicon.
Okay,
So maybe, yeah, I can't see. They don't actually have brother here. Oh,
yeah, but it's typically it's always brother.
okay. I see it now.
So a brother does not speak.
This one is the brother.
Uh-huh. A word.
So it must be, yeah, I just thought it was the first one I saw.
Right.
Okay, let me get the share screen. So a brother does not speak word, a word,
A word, that's right.
yeah. And
And how would you parse log on?
log on
Mhm.
is a singular and accusative.
Okay,
So it's a masculine noun.
right. So it's coming from which root word?
Logos,
That's right. It's coming from logos. So
Yeah.
it is second declension,
yes. Second
masculine.
declension noun, masculine, and singular. It's either nominative or no, sorry,
Vocative
it's not.
or
It's
accusative.
either accusative or genitive. So it could be a possessive.
Log on will be either nominative singular, vocative singular, or accusative singular.
Well, from my notes, the accusative and the genitive are the same. So I can't tell. So it could be of the word, or it could be the word, but you use the same ending for both.
Not accusative and genitive are not the same.
No, I know that, but they both have the same ending. Log on.
Not accusative and genitive.
In your chart, you can see
Right.
that you just drew. On, accusative and genitive have the same ending for singular.
Okay, I'm sorry. I should write that a little better. That's on us. That's a oo.
Ah,
That's a oo.
I had written it in my notes with a N. Oh, I didn't realize.
Right.
So genitive is a us.
Right. Os oi.
I meant to say that to you, that I'm having difficulty distinguishing those letters when you write them on the screen.
Okay. Right. So
Okay.
it's os, oi, a, oi.
Okay, well then it's only accusative. I
Right.
thought it was the same letter.
Right.
Okay, so the brother should not speak a word to other people.
To
Well, the word is
Anthropo.
anthropo, which translates to human, or which could be people.
but it's singular
Person to another person,
to a man.
because it ends in omega.
Right.
Okay.
To a man. So,
So
it's
how do you
singular.
know whether to say person or man?
In this context, we're gonna stick to that. Typically, if you start saying person, then you're smoothing out the reading, and we're not gonna do that. So we're gonna stick to man
Okay.
or men rather than person or persons. I mean, you can
Okay.
technically do that, but for our purposes, we will stick to the basic meaning instead of smoothing it
Okay.
out. So some of the lexicons will time to time give you the extra meaning.
Other
But
words.
yeah, and you can, and it'll be fine. But I think it'd be better if you stick to the basic meaning, which is man or men. But here it's to a man. Okay, great. Number 8. Danny?
Fere, doulos, doron, apostolo, which means a slave brings a gift to an apostle.
Okay, slave, a slave. Pharaoh, coming from Pharaoh, brings a gift, doron, apostolu, to an apostle. It's very easy. And doron over here, coming from Dora.
Mm.
So ona, on, o, ois. And there, on is accusative. So the context helps you there. Because I mean, you could say, technically, you could say, gift brings servant. I mean, you can, but it's going to be an awkward reading. So it is accusative, singular. Okay. Number 9. Any questions there, Deidre?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, Caitlin?
Number 9, right?
Yes.
Genosokomen Odon Hero.
That's it.
And then I said it translated into we know a road to a temple.
We know a road to a temple.
Yeah.
Huh, good. Okay. Number 10.
Okay.
Ook.
Or ook. I've had this word before. Akumen.
Akuomen. Yes.
Akumen.
Uh-huh.
And logos and fan.
Tana 2.
Hang on. Fanatu. Give me a minute.
All right.
Okay, so not, uke means not.
Mm-hmm.
Akunumen means not hearing, hear.
It's coming from akuo. So o is a amen ete usen. We hear.
Usen. Let me just look up my verbs so I have them in front of me.
So there you have it.
Sen, men.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I can't see your share screen.
You can't.
Okay.
Did anybody else see this share screen?
Yeah, I just have to bring it in front because it gets hidden by the people. Women is so singular, plural is we.
Uh-huh. We hear.
Okay.
We do not
Yeah.
hear.
So we cannot hear, or we do not hear the word. But I think that one is plural.
Plural, that's right. So it's not
So
word, but
we cannot hear, we do not hear the words. And Fanatov,
tanatu.
Fanatu,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So death, is that the word for death?
That's the word for
Fanatu.
death. That's right.
Yeah, so we cannot hear the words of death.
Right. That's correct.
Oh,
We do not hear words of death. Great. Okay. Let's see how many we have all together. Let's jump over some for time's sake. Let's do number 13. Daniel, this is a big one, but I'm sure you can handle it.
13. Kai apostolois, Kai anthropois, legomen, logus, thanatou.
Okay.
The 13. I put we speak words of death to both apostles and men.
Okay. Any questions there? We speak words of death. And how did you translate the last, the first four words?
I rearranged it a little bit. I said we speak words of death to both apostles and men.
Okay, that's good. Because when you have the kai, that's what you're doing is translating that as both. Okay, great. That's great. To both apostles and men. It's coming from apostolos, anthropos, os, oi, eoi, on, us, on, o, ois. So it's dative plural. Okay, let's see. Find some big one. I know, Caitlin, you were waiting on this one. It's easy. You can do it.
Kue, Tekna, Logus, Oiko, all, Akuusin, Akloi, logus, air, air,
Aram.
arama.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I said, children hear words in a house, but crowds hear words in a wilderness.
Okay, so you said I say.
Wait, for which one?
How did you translate this?
Children hear words in a house, but
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
I thought you said I said children say. So I was like, wait a minute. Children say words in a house, but crowds hear words in a wilderness. These are not theologically accurate statements. I don't know where Dr. Black got these, but they're great for translation. Okay, great job. Let's see. Let's try this one here. Deidre, you want to try number 21?
Este, agaloi, kai, ferete,
Ferrete.
Dora, anthropoi,
Anthropois.
anthropois is for men. Dora, I've done a few times. It's a gift,
Yes.
but it's I think plural. I just have to check.
Okay.
It's a different kind of gift.
So the first word, how would you parse that?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Just give me a moment to think. Toy. I'm just looking to see if I've written it already once before, but I think it's new to me.
Sure.
So
here, if you notice the paradigm I put on the screen.
yeah. Ah.
So you have
it's a whole ending.
Right. It is.
So there's no stem.
Right.
I was thinking I haven't seen this stem before.
Yeah, and it can be a little daunting when you're just starting out. It seems like, what word is this? But it's the Amy, to be, or I am. So Amy, Estin, Esmond, Este. Este is y'all are. Y'all are.
Este.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Ungaloy. So here
you
have double G or G. The first one takes on the N sound. This is the English N, okay, not the A in Greek. So ungalos.
Oh, I'm sure you said that once.
Yeah, it's been a while, couple
Yeah,
classes ago.
that was the first lesson.
Yeah,
I should have remembered.
that's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like an N, like an, okay, and Anoloy.
Angeloi. Angeloi.
Oh,
The second one still has the G sound.
oh, okay. Anoloy.
Mhm.
I'm just writing it down in case you
Sure.
remove it from the screen.
Sure, that's fine.
So okay, now I understand. So all you all angels.
Are angels or messengers.
Okay.
Now
So
let me
no, no,
yeah,
sorry.
let me clarify one thing over here. So
Yeah.
here, angelos is nominative singular, plural or vocative plural. So it's os, oi, a, oi, on, us, u, on, o, ois.
How
So
do you know
because-
whether it's an angel or a messenger?
Well, I mean, you could say angels, but there are many times in the Greek where it's not angels. The context tells you whether or not it's an angel. So is
Okay,
so
so
if
you
you're
don't really know when you're translating
right.
which, okay,
Yeah, you could say technically you could say angels, but here I'm kind of sticking to the basic meaning, which is messengers. So
I'm
because
trying, sorry.
no, it's fine. Because this is the Amy to be verb, here angeloi is nominative plural. So y'all are messengers.
Okay,
Okay.
and then Kai is and then Ferrete,
Ferrete. Ferrete.
Ferrete,
Uh-huh.
Ferrete.
And ferrete is coming from which word?
I'm trying to remember. It's not death. It's
No. Think about a ferry. A ferry carries people around. I mean, that's
oh, it's a verb.
brings.
Okay. Messengers, and because it's ending in ete,
O is a almond.
it's a plural second person.
That's it. Very good. Okay.
Okay, so so the messengers, so you are all messengers, and it's not future, so it's just to bring.
You all bring.
You all bring messengers,
Well, Dora
or
is
the messengers bring. Is it that, does the messengers go first?
well, that's one sentence. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're talking about
Part of-
compound sentences, that's one, and this is a second one. So
Okay.
y'all are messengers, and you all bring.
Gifts to men.
Yes. There you go. Y'all are messengers, and you all bring gifts to men.
So it's like two sentences in one.
Right. Right. And this kind of stretches you. This is the whole purpose of doing these exercises together. You know, some of you may know this right away. Others are struggling a little bit, but this is part of learning and growing. Let's see, Daniel, you want to do number 22?
Sure. On number 21, real quick.
Yes, sir.
Could it be translated, "You are messengers and bring gifts to men"? Could it be shortened down and that second U taken out?
Um,
I'm just
For
trying to think through it in my head.
yeah, in a way you could do that.
I figured for these exercises, you probably wanted us to put it in there, but I was just wondering if it could be done.
If it was in a text, I would probably take Angaloi to be the primary noun for the entire sentence.
Okay.
And context is the key. So if it looks like, yeah, y'all are messengers and bring gifts to men, yeah, I would go with that. But
Okay.
here, and plus it's also, a plural. Este is second person plural, and ferete is also second person plural. So yeah, that means angeloi is the noun over both. So that would work great. But if the second part was a Dora anthropois, then I would be, a little. I'm sorry. If it was fere Dora anthropois, then y'all are messengers and you singular bring gifts to men. That would be a whole different meaning. But here, yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, great point. Thank you.
Sure. So Susan, apostoloi anthropos thanatou. Apostles will save men from death.
Okay. How would you parse sotsusen?
All right.
Sotsusen.
That would be future, active, indicative, third person plural of sozo.
Very good. Great job.
Had to think through all the categories on that one.
It is. It is, but a great job. I mean, that was bullseye. Any questions there? There's a last one there. I wish we had done a couple more future ones here. I'm trying to think.
Just with the last one, Dr. Shah,
Yes, ma'am.
how do you know to use the word from? So where Daniel said from death, save men from death.
Oh,
Where is it telling you that?
the Tana 2.
Okay.
So the apostles will save men. We're going back to our declension chart. So os oi, a oi, on, us, u, on, o, ois. So for anthropos, okay, it's the accusative, okay, and then for Tanatu, it is genitive singular, and genitive can be to or from, okay, as well. So that's why.
So it could say carrying them, save men to death, or it could be from death.
It could be,
And you
but
have to work out which
yeah,
one it is.
the context
Okay.
will. Basic meaning of genitive is possession, but also as you translate it, you'll see some interesting variations there that are more than just possession.
If it was going to be translated to two, wouldn't that have to be thanato in dative?
To or from, yes.
But
So apostles
just in the genitive, it would be of or from, right? Because dative would would give us a two translation.
Repeat that again.
Doesn't the dative speak about a two, like it give you like an indirect object almost, but the genitive will tell you of possession.
Right.
I
So
thought
it could be-
dative was 4.
So it could be save men of death or men from death. But if it was going to be to death, it would be dative, right?
To death would be dative. 2 or 4 would be dative. But this is from
Right.
would be more genitive. 2 or 4 would be dative. Is
Okay.
that, am I right? Is that what you're,
Yeah, that sounds good.
okay. So this is more of off or from. 2 or 4 is more dative. Okay, great. Any questions? Any other questions? All right, if not, let's do the video to give you guys a little bit of break from just seeing me. Of the first declension masculine nouns with the ace and os ending. If you guys have watched it already, great, kind of catch up on it. But if not, this is a great time to watch it. And then also, we got a couple more videos to watch for next week. So let's begin with the ace and os ending for first declension.
Welcome to Biblical Greek. Now, in this session, we're going to deal with first declension masculine nouns with ace and os endings. Now, if you don't know what declension is, go back and watch the video on what declension means, the Latin word to decline away, which is to fall away from the main nominative singular case. So keep that in mind. Declining means how those nouns are breaking down based on their ending. So there's nominative singular or nominative plural, vocative singular, vocative plural, accusative singular, accusative plural, genitive singular, genitive plural, and then dative singular, dative plural. Now we have looked at second declension masculine nouns, and we have looked at second declension neuter nouns. Now, why did we start with second declension and not with the first? Because the second declension masculine nouns are the most popular ones. Remember that? Endings with os oi, aoi, on us, u on, o ois. That's second declension masculine. And then second declension neuter, on u on, o ois. Now in this one, we're going to begin with first declension masculine noun. So let me write that on the board here. First declension masculine nouns, the ace ending. So let's begin by drawing out our paradigm. And you know how that goes with singular on one side, plural on the other, dividing them up. And then first line is nominative, where we're talking about the subject of the sentence. Next comes vocative, where we're talking about address or direct address. And then accusative, object, genitive, of something, belonging to the something. And then lastly, dative. Now, if you're confused about these categories, you need to go back and watch the videos where we talk about those case endings and what does nominative and vocative and accusative and genitive and all those mean. I think we covered that in the early part of our class, and that's a very important chapter when we talked about the English grammar. So go back and check on that, okay, under the English grammar section. So let's begin with the nouns with the ace declension, which is first declension masculine ace ending. Okay, so here we go. Ace I, in, us, u, on, a, ice. So this is first declension masculine noun. Ace I, in, us, u, on, a, ice. So ace I, in, us, u, on, a, ice. So let's put in a word. Let's say the word is prophet, prophetess. So how would you decline the word prophetess? Prophetess, prophetess, singular, nominative singular, prophetai, nominative plural, prophets, propheta, hey prophet, you're addressing, you're getting a prophet's attention, propheta. Prophetai is exactly like the nominative singular, but the reason we know that this is vocative singular is because of its position in the sentence. So context is key. While here, this is prophets will do what they do, would be nominative singular. But here, prophets, listen to what God is saying to you. That would be vocative plural. Same exact ending, and yet difference in meaning based on the context. Accusative is prophetain, where prophet is an object. Prophetas is accusative plural. Again, this is a object and not a subject. And next is the genitive, which is prophetu. Okay, this is the u, not the n. Prophetu, which should be very familiar to us because this is the same thing in the second declension masculine, where os, oi, aoi, on, us, u, on, exactly the same endings happening here as well. So there's something familiar in the genitive, the same exact thing. Of the prophet, of the prophets would be this one here, propheton. So this gives you a little bit of help here, exactly the same ending as the second declension masculine, genitive, singular, and plural. And finally, prophete. Which is to or for the prophet, take this to the prophet. Prophetais, take this to the prophets. To or for is plural. So this is first declension, masculine, ending in ace. Now, how about if the ending is us? Okay, so again, we draw out our table, our chart with singular and plural. Of course, just like this is nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, and then dative. For the benefit of all of us, I'm going to just put the first initials: nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, dative, so you don't get confused, singular and plural. So let's lay out our endings first. First declension, masculine nouns with the as ending as opposed to the ace ending. So let's begin. As, I, on, us, on, ice. There you have the first declension masculine with the as ending. So let's do the same thing we did here with prophetess. What word would go with an as ending versus an ace? Because ace is nouns that end like prophetess. So as, let's give you one word like neanias. Neanias is young man. Dr. Black uses the same example in his work. So let's use that one. Nea ni as, young man. Okay, that is nominative singular, neanias. How about nominative plural? It would be nea niai, young men, as in nominative plural. Now let's look at the vocative singular. Again, nea nia, young man. It's an address. How about this one? Vocative plural, nea niai. And if you notice, just like the prophetai, the nominative plural and the vocative plural are exactly the same. So also here, the nominative plural and the vocative plural in the as ending is also the same. So how do you know which one is which? Same way here, context tells us. If it's young men are going to town versus young men heed the lesson, that would be vocative plural. Let's continue. Accusative singular, nea, neon is object. So young man, but this time is functioning as an object in the sentence. Nea, neas, young men, plural, but object. Nea niu is genitive singular of the young men. This belongs to the young man. Okay, this is of the young man. Just like prophetu, propheton, neaniu, neanion, they're very similar. Nea, neon is of the young men, plural, genitive. And then finally, the dative is nea, nia, nea, nia. And as opposed to this one here, nea, nia, vocative, this one has the iota subscript on the bottom, which tells us it is a dative, and dative means to or for the young man. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's very similar to the vocative singular, except for the iota subscript underneath the dative. So to or for the young man, and on this side, nea, the ice, to or for the young men. So let's quickly go over our nouns of the first declension, masculine ending, and we have two kinds, ase endings right here, or the as ending. One example of the ase ending is prophetess. Prophetess, prophetai. Propheta, prophetai, prophetain, prophetas, prophetu, propheton, prophete with the iota subscript, prophetais is the dative plural. So there you have the ase ending first declension masculine. As ending, neanias, so as I. So let's read it together, neanias, neaniai, neania, neaniai, neanian, neaniais, neanias, neaniu, neanion, neania with the outer subscript that tells us this is dative versus vocative over here, and neaniais. Now it seems tough. How am I going to memorize all this? How am I going to memorize this paradigm? And I'm still struggling with second declension masculine and second declension neuter. And now all of a sudden first declension masculine, and they have two different kinds of ending. Well, understandable. The only way that we can do this is by writing down these paradigms again and again. When I was doing my elementary Greek 5 years ago, I wrote down these paradigms sometimes even 100 times. Wrote them again and again and again and again. And they were permanently etched in my mind. So you'll do the same thing with this one. As I, on, us, on, ice. And then as you're going about your day, you keep repeating them. Is I, and us, on, ice. As I, on us, on, ice. And you say it faster and faster. So you memorize the endings, but keep in mind they fall under the first declension masculine, because when you're parsing, you'll have to identify what it is. And that's when it's important to say, this is first declension versus second declension. This is masculine versus feminine or neuter. Welcome to Biblical Greek. In today's lesson, we're going to go back to the first declension nouns, but this time we're going to focus on the feminine nouns with a ending and a ending. Now, if you know what declensions are, decline from the Latin meaning falling away from the nominative singular form of a noun, and then looking at how the paradigm goes. So let's look at first declension, feminine nouns. First declension. Feminine nouns with a ending, and then we're going to do the a ending. So let's draw up our table first. You have singular on one side, plural on the other. And we begin with nominative case, vocative, accusative, genitive, and lastly, dative. Remember our case endings and what cases mean. Nominative is subject, vocative is address, accusative, object, genitive, of something, possession, and to or for something is the last one, which is dative. So now let's begin by looking at first declension feminine nouns with a ending. So let's first write down the endings, and then we're going to focus on putting a word in and translating it. So here we go. A I, a I. So both the nominative and the vocative forms are exactly the same for the singular and the plural. What helps us is the context. So keep that in mind. In us, that is the accusative. Is on, genitive, singular and plural. And finally, a with the iota subscript on the bottom, don't miss that. Is. So AI in us, is on, is. Now, if you remember in the first declension masculine, this was u on, but that's changed over here with the a endings. So it is a little complicated, but again, as I mentioned to you, the only way to do these paradigms is memorize, memorize, memorize. Now, I will also explain to you why these shifts happen. Why does this not remain ooh and all of that? But we'll come to that in another video, so make sure you watch that as well. So let's use the word RK. RK is beginning. So RK, beginning as a subject. R Kai, beginnings as a subject. R K, exactly the same as this one here. The nominative singular and the vocative singular are same, but if you remember, context solves that problem. This is beginning as an address. And then archai, again, exactly the same as the nominative plural, but context helps us again. Arcane, arcane, archas, accusative plural as an object. So beginning, beginnings. Archais, of the beginning. Archon, of the beginnings. And then arche, dative to or for the beginning. And archais, to or for the beginnings. Keep in mind the iota subscript here. Now, why do we say to or for something or of something? Because in Greek, just that one word, when it's translated, we require 3 words in English. So arche, to the beginning, but when you look at it in Greek, it's just one word. But that's how it's been inflected, and it contains that entire meaning in just that one simple word. So there you have the declension of the A ending, first declension, feminine noun. But now let's look at the A ending of the first declension, feminine noun. So let's draw up our chart again. Singular, plural, nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, dative. One reason I'm drawing all this out instead of just projecting a PowerPoint or something like that is because the more we watch this written out and drawn out, the better we begin to get with our memorization. Now, there's something we need to talk about here. So I'm going to erase this side of the board because when it comes to the ah ending, there are two different forms based on the word. Okay, so let me go ahead and erase this of the ah ending and draw out another ah ending paradigm. One is for the word hemera, another is for the word doxa. Now keep in mind, both of them end with ah, but there's a slight difference. Again, this is still first declension feminine, but ah ending, but there's a slight difference depending on the words. So let's draw out our table again, singular, plural, nominative, vocative, accusative, genitive, and dative. So let's begin. First, we're gonna put one kind of endings here, and then another kind right here. Again, they're both ah endings under the same first declension feminine nouns, and yet there's a slight difference, and we'll see why. Okay, so here we go. I, on, us, on, ice. Now let's go over to the other side. Again, keep in mind, this is still an ah ending, and it is still first declension feminine noun. But this time there's a slight difference, just one tiny letter. And let's see if we can find that letter. So I, on, us, ace, on, a, ice. So let's try to plug in the words. Okay, so the first, for this side, the word is hemera. Hemera is day. Day. And then hemerai is days. We're talking about nominative plural, days, as a subject of the sentence. Hemera, this is vocative. Again, exactly the same. And I'll put the rough reading there so that way you can tell why we're saying it with the h sound. Keep in mind, in the Koine modern pronunciation is emera. That's why you hear people greet each other in Greece as kalamera. Kalos is good. Hemera or emera is day. So kalamera is good day. Now, vocative plural would be he, me, rai. Exactly the same as the nominative plural, but this time it's days, which you're addressing the days. And then accusative is, again, I need to put the rough breathing on that. Heme ran as an object, day, and heme ras, days, as plural, accusative. Genitive would be Heme Ras. Now, if you notice something here, this Heme Ras is exactly like this Heme Ras, where accusative plural is the same as the genitive singular. But again, the context helps us know that this is simply a direct object and this is possession. It may seem very complicated to us right now, but when you are reading Greek and you're beginning to parse the sentences and the words, you draw the sentence diagram, it's not as complicated as it seems right now. Okay. So of the day, hemeron, of the days, and heme ra with the iota subscript under the a is 2 or 4 the day, and heme rice is 2 or 4 the days, dative plural. So that's where you have the paradigm for first declension feminine with the a ending, day, days, or of the day, of the days, 2 or 4 the day, 2 or 4 the days. Now let's go on this side. Again, it's the a ending, and it is still under the first declension feminine, but there's a slight difference, and we're going to use the word doxa. And what does the word doxa mean? Doxa means glory. That's where we get the word doxology. So glory as a subject, plural, singular, nominative singular, but glories is nominative plural. Vocative, if you're addressing glory, what has happened to you? That would fall under doc. So again, very much the same. Nominative, vocative, singular, plural are the same, just like here, also here. And the context helps us understand which one is which. Doxa, glories, which you're addressing, rather than the subject of the sentence. Doxon as an object, doxas as an object, plural, accusative, plural, glories. And now we come to the genitive of the glory, doxes, of the glories, doxon. And then dative, which would be 2 or 4, glory, doxe, and doxize. So as you look at this chart, of course, most of the endings are very similar. They are first declension feminine with the a ending, both of them. But there's a slight difference when it comes to the genitive singular and the dative singular. A here is here. You see, notice the difference. As is a. And that's just because of that particular kind of word, and words that are like the doxa words, words that are like the hemera words. That's what you will find to be distinct. So again, just the way we did for the others, you have to memorize these paradigms, write them out 100 times. There is no substitute to grit work. And once you get this in your system, you don't have to worry about them the rest of your lives. Of course, you need to revise and or you need to review them. Of course, you need to review them time to time, but overall, they stay in your memory, except for a few things like the as versus ace, or the a versus a in the dative singular here and the dative singular there. But overall, they're still up here. And so, I, on, us, on, a, ice, again and again. on us on, us. And not just write them down, say them. I, on us, as on, ice. I, on us, as on, ice. Takes a little hard work, but once you get them, they stay in your memory. So again, this lesson was about first declension feminine nouns. We looked at those with the A ending and then the I ending, but in the I ending, we have two different kinds. One where the genitive singular has as versus as, with the iota subscript versus a with the iota subscript. That concludes our lesson on the first declension feminine nouns with a and with those two endings.
Okay. All right. All right, so coming back here, let's start the video. Even I got tired watching myself on that video, but it's part of Greek. You know, Greek, it's just no other way but to just learn and memorize them. I'm not going to play the video for definite article. I'm gonna let you watch it on your own time, but I'm gonna quickly go over it in the textbook. So it's on page chapter 5. It's on page 37 of chapter 5. And again, same thing over here. These are the definite articles, 24 of them all together. They have to be memorized, no other way around that. But in time, you'll know how they're not that complicated because they resemble the first declension and the second declension. They resemble the masculine, the feminine, and you can see their uses, and they'll help you a lot to identify the nominative or the accusative or the genitive or the dative. You'll know just by seeing the definite article right next to the noun. You'll know right away, oh, I know what this is. So the definite articles are not a problem as much. They actually become an aid in translating the text. So this is the paradigm for the definite article on page 37 of your book. So ha, he, ta. And the way I do it is accusative, genitive, dative. Ha, he, ta. That's nominative singular from masculine, feminine, neuter. Accusative, ton,
Excuse
tain.
me.
Yeah.
Do they always translate as the word the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. But it'll depend on, you know, the masculine, the feminine, the neuter, and so this will kind of help you know. It's always helped me once I know that. It's like, oh, I know that's a feminine ending. And
Do they ever translate as the word there?
like a possessive,
Yeah.
it'll depend. Like a genitive, you know, in a genitive situation,
It could be there.
there. See, genitive is possession or source, like what Daniel was saying earlier about off or from. Genitives are possessions, belonging, or the source. So that particular example that he was referring to was from death. Am I right on that, Daniel? From death. That's a source. Because possession just seems awkward. How can it be of death? So from death is a better translation. So genitives can be there in the sense of belonging, or there in the sense of source. And of course,
Thank you.
dative is like an indirect object in a 2 or 4. So yeah, of course. And then plural, same thing, hoi, hi, and you can see that you can see the endings over here. Make sure you watch the video. It's a 16-minute long video. I don't want to keep you guys here for that long, but make sure you watch that article video because I kind of go in details there. But just like the second declension masculine nouns, os, oi, a, oi, on, us, u, on, o, ois. If you notice here, the articles, ha, hoi, ton, tus, tu, ton, to, tois. I mean, you can see it, how similar they are. So memorizing the definite article chart is not as complicated as it seems like at first. And then more we study the feminine and the neuter, same thing will be the case there. So make sure you guys watch the video and go over this. Let me quickly go over the vocabulary. Okay. Okay, let me read the vocabulary for you guys. And again, the vocabulary videos are also there. We made sure, you know, sometimes you can't cover everything in that 3-hour period. And I usually try to go 2.5 because I think that's as much as the human mind can endure. So if you have trouble here, you can watch the vocab videos there. And I know Deidre mentioned something about the confusion between the new and the upsilon on the whiteboard, and it's a hard one to really keep distinct. But make sure you look at the textbook. The textbook.
Yeah, that's what I did. I took out the textbook to double check.
Yeah.
Because I realized I was sometimes writing and instead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, make sure you double check. I use the whiteboard and I write many times to help you kind of remember. It always has, through the years, I've been teaching for, I lost track, 10, 15 years now. It helps students remember when they see me writing. So that's the reason why I write so much, or I could just put PowerPoint and just keep moving, but it doesn't have the same impact. But make sure you check the textbooks because unlike the PDF here, the textbook, so far as I've seen, I've used Dr. Black's book for years, almost 15 years. The textbook is pretty accurate. All right, so let's go with the vocab list. Greek vocabulary 3, words between 200 and 299 times in the Greek New Testament. Let's begin with laleo. Laleo, to speak. Get a better color here. Let's go with black. Uranos, heaven. Uranos, heaven. Mathetes, disciple. Mathetes, disciple. Lambano, to take. Lambano, to take. Gay, earth. Gay, earth. It's like the goddess Gaia, earth, gay, earth. Ikenos, that one. Ikenos, that one. Apokrinomai, to answer. Apokrinomai, to answer. Pisteuo, to believe. Pisteuo, to believe. And Dr. Black already had some of these words in his vocab list in chapters 3 and 4. So I'm sure they sound familiar. Pistis, faith. Pistis, faith. Udes, udemia, uden, no one. You can tell from that u, it's no, one. Ace is one, no one. Hupa, by or under. Hupa, by or under. Hupopotamus, you know, the Potamus is river. Hupo is, you know, it's kind of like a horse, but anyways, it's kind of submerged. The idea is being submerged. Hupa, by and under. Hagios, holy. Hagios, holy. Onoma, name. Onoma, name. Humes, you plural or y'all, humes, y'all, ginosko, to know, we've kind of covered that already, ginosko, to know, exerkomai, to come out. Ex is like exit, erkomai, to come, exerkomai, to come out. Gune gunaikos, woman or wife. Again, the context will help you. Anir andros, man or husband. Hutos, not utos, hutos is thus or in this manner. Idu, behold. Idu, behold. Te, also. Megas, great, easy to remember. Telo, to will. Dunamai, to be able. Oida, to know. Grapho, to write, of course. Para, from alongside. Para, from alongside. Okay, so those are the vocabulary words, but also remember to memorize the words under chapter 5 of Dr. Black's book. Assignment for next week is only chapter 5. Okay, I'm being nice. Only chapter 5, which is pages 40 to 41, all 18 of them. So chapter 5, translate the following sentences, pages 40 to 41, do all of them, and then we'll go over them in class. And okay, any questions? It's 8:31, but I'm here. Are your brains about to explode, or are these okay? How's everybody doing?
Memorizing isn't so easy when you get older, Dr. Shah.
That is funny and true. That is true.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I mean, it is.
I wish I had Caitlin's brain.
Caitlin was like started to pronounce like a natural born Greek speaker.
I don't know about that.
How about you, Daniel? How are you? You all the Greek coming back to you?
Yeah, it's been a few years, but it's all coming back.
Well, how long ago was a few years?
Let's see. I had Greek 1 and 2 in 2016.
Okay. Yeah.
And I took Greek 1 another time back in like 2012, and then I guess again in like 2017. So I guess this is my fourth time taking Greek 1.
You really want to get this this Greek thing down.
I got to get it down.
I was studying it in the 70s.
Wow. Yeah.
So I was a different person then.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the rewards are tremendous. It's great to stick with it, and I hope that once we get these elementary things out of the way, I really want to, at least in the last 2 weeks of this semester, is to do a little more in class. Hopefully we can do that you will actually enjoy it and learn a few things. And for you, Daniel, hopefully it'll help you enjoy that more, because you've been taking it again and again. So hopefully this will enhance that. But anyways, I can be here longer, but I know it's 2.5 hours. You guys go rest, and any questions you have, please feel free to email them. Deidre, let me know if they any trouble with the computer technical things. I think it was on their end. So
I'm not sure, because I wasn't sure if maybe I had lost connection temporarily,
yeah,
and that was why I wouldn't save,
yeah,
or whether it was something at Carolina.
yeah.
But I wasn't sure. I was sort of taken by surprise that I had to scan something that I'd written. So I had it. I didn't normally. I would just use my printer and scan it to a PDF, but I didn't give myself enough time. So I will. Now you've given us 2 hours, and I will start it earlier.
No problem.
I was expecting like a multiple choice test because that's what Dr. Gregory was always giving us. Like we had 60 questions and we had to know everything about, all the books of the prophets. So I was sort of prepared for that, but the idea of writing something down, taking a photo. So I did it with my phone,
Mhm.
but my phone saved it as an image that
Mm.
Carolina didn't like.
Nice,
So
yeah.
it said, oh, we don't accept this kind of file. And then I was like, oh no, what do I do?
Just email me next
I
time.
should have just taken my my notebook and scanned it on the printer next to me. But then I was like running out of time. So it's all my fault. I'm sure I'll have it sorted.
Anytime you guys get into a time situation, a bind or something, let me know. I'm here to help. Be glad to help you out. So don't worry about that. Don't stress over it. Just make sure you get it done. Also do your homework. Very important to do that so that when we get to class, we can kind of run right through it. Make sure you stay on top of
I
that.
will do my homework. I
There
promise.
you go. But anyways, other than that, you guys have a great evening. I'll still be sticking around for a little bit. Anybody has questions, email them to me. We'll be in the office for a little bit. So other than that, have a great night, guys.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Do you have a second to talk about Colossians?
Yeah, what you got?
In Colossians 3, verse 16, it talks about let the word of Christ dwell within you richly. And then it says to encourage one another, speaking to each other in psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. It says psalmois, hymnois, and hudes, pneumatikais. It's my understanding that those three titles for psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs are the same headings in the Septuagint for each of the psalms in the Psalter, which I didn't know if you'd ever heard of that, looked into that, or anything.
I haven't. I need to look into that.
Because-
What's your question?
My question would be, if that's the case,
Right.
would that, in your opinion, would that kind of temper how we would apply that passage or how we would interpret it, in the sense that instead of just some psalms or some hymns that we'd written or spiritual songs to encourage one another, are we supposed to actually memorize the psalms from the Psalter in
Oh,
order to speak into the lives of other people?
wow. Yeah, that's a great question. I need to look into that. That would be very interesting to see. Have you looked at any commentaries on Colossians?
Not too many. I've done a little bit of study on this because my particular denomination, all we do is sing the Psalms in church.
Okay.
And we do that because we're very particular about the regulative principle of worship.
Okay.
And so we believe that the only kind of singing that was commanded in the New Testament was the singing of Psalms, and it comes from this passage and the one in Ephesians that says roughly the same thing.
Right.
Psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs.
So are you
I
the
was thinking
16th?
something.
What's your denomination, if you don't mind me asking you?
It's the RPCNA, the Reformed Presbyterian Church of North
That's what I
America.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, old Scottish Covenanters.
Yeah, I that's why I was wondering. Yeah, I have two of the best commentaries. Powell's commentary. He is a Trinity professor. I'm gonna see if I can find that and maybe photocopy it and send it to you. That
Okay.
section. Do you have any commentaries? Any in particular you've looked at?
I'm trying to find Colossians. They're all in order. Galatians, Ephesians. No, I've got a little bitty one by Dino Padrone. He was the president of Davis College for a while.
Okay.
But
The way Powell has it, he's a Harvard trained professor, but he's at Trinity now. Amazing guy. I mean, he's really, really good. He says more difficult is whether psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs should be taken with teaching and admonishing, which precede, or singing, which follows, noting that psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs seem to be more suitable with singing than with teaching. Some argue for the second option. Despite the natural affinity between songs and the act of singing, the former reading is preferable. First, the parallel in Ephesians 5:19 clearly points to the relationship between teaching and hymns, while singing belongs to a different clause. So singing, speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit, sing and make music from your heart to the Lord. Second, elsewhere in Paul, psalms and teaching have also appeared in the same context. As has often been stated, more theology is ingrained into our hearts through singing than through the printed page or even through preaching. So I think he's leaning more towards more just the singing genre rather than memorizing and repeating. Am I right in taking it like that?
yeah, I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's where he stands. Scott McKnight, I don't know, I'm sure you heard of Scott McKnight. I won't say he falls in the Reform camp at all. Let's see, 3:16. He says it here. The terms for songs, psalms, hymn songs, move from the classic Jewish prayer songbook, the Psalms, to two terms with little distinction between them. Each term connotes singing unto the Lord as songs from the Spirit, so it is unlikely we should press distinction between them. This is Scott McKnight. There is a debate about whether we should use spirit or spiritual songs in translation. Doesn't matter for us. The first term, psalms, refers to set songs in an already established singing or chanting tradition, and very possibly accompanied by stringed instrument. Paul affirms the recitation or intoned chanting of the Psalms. Hymns refers to the growing poetic tradition about Christ in the early Christian churches. The third term, songs, is the least formal, and the songs from the Spirit may mean spontaneous or inspired or charismatic songs. So that's what he's saying here. It kind of seems odd that he's saying no distinction, but then there are distinctions.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Would you like me to send you a photocopy of these couple things?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Yeah.
That'd be great.
And these are the top commentaries right now on Colossians. There's one more that just came out. I don't have it, but I need to get my hands on it. But this one is by David Powell, Exegetical Commentary on the New Testament, of course, the New International Critical by Scott McKnight. So I'll send it to you.
Okay. I wonder if I have those in Logos, because I've got
Okay.
a lot of commentaries.
Yeah, I'm sure. If you have the latest one, because this one just came out, Powell's commentary came out in 2012. And so they both should be in there. And I know McKnight's commentary has been out for, oh, wow. McKnight is more recent, 2018.
Okay.
I'll send it to you and hope if you have it on Logos, great.
Yes. All right.
And I'll research it too. But anyways,
Sure.
Great question.
All right.
Good talking to you, Daniel. And if anything else, just email me.
All right. Sounds good. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a great weekend.
You too.